Hello everyone and welcome to the road architecture tutorial. In this video, we will cover how to create and edit different types of roads, add or remove layers and objects, create and modify junctions, and using road groups. And to make things more exciting, we will be making this long 3-lane highway road entirely from scratch using the road architect tool. But before we continue, I'd like to mention that I have created multiple special tutorials covering how to detach any parts from any vehicle and showcasing useful tools that helps you have more control and creativity in Beamng.drive. You can also find in-depth tutorials covering how to create complex crash scenarios or for tools like CamPath Editor on the channel. And many more tutorials are on the way, which you can find the links to each one in the description. So if you're interested in learning basic to advanced tutorials and tips and tricks, please like and subscribe and join our Discord, which is linked in the description. To avoid wasting your time, we will use a pre-made map and add the desired roads to it. This way, we won't do anything unrelated to the road architect tool and therefore save a lot of time. Here, I loaded into American Roads map, which you can find the links for in the description. And I found this open area and I'm going to create the highway alongside these mountains. Once you have loaded into your map, press F11 and open the road architect tool. To create a road, press add the new spline road and start placing your nodes on the desired positions. Here, I'm making a really long highway, but if it is your first time doing this, please make it shorter as it can be very slow and hardware intensive. After placing the nodes, since we're creating a highway that needs to follow the train height smoothly, we will adjust the node heights and add more nodes if necessary. You can also conform your road to the terrain if you have a smooth terrain, but here I don't have a smooth terrain, so I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'm going to add more nodes in between the main nodes so I can adjust the road height better according to the terrain. If you don't see the moving gimbals, all you have to do is pressing this button to turn it on. After placing and adjusting each node, now is the time to choose our road's profile. Click on this button to open the road's profile window, and here you can see a list of default profiles. You can apply one to see how it looks, but we need to edit it to add one more lane to each side. To do so, go back to the profiles window, and on the bottom one you can see you have a new profile created for you. Just edit it and add one more lane to each side, and all you have to do is apply it again to show it in the map. Please keep in mind, depending on your road type, your road can have different properties. For example, urban roads don't have a middle part island, but can have sidewalks. But on the other hand, highway roads can't have sidewalks, but they have the middle part islands. You can change the spline types or flip the road directions and lock each node in the place so it can't move. Now, to smooth the terrain according to the road height, we need to use the Terraform tool. First, check the show button to see the area of effect of the terraform. The domain of influence is measured in meters, which controls how far the terrain modification extends from the road. Smaller values create sharp changes in the terrain, and larger values smoothens out the terrain, resulting in a gentler slopes on both domain of influence and margin. The granularity controls the quality of road placement. Higher values result in higher resolutions in road bends. The master width controls the overall width of the road. The translation control drags other nearby nodes when moving a node depending on the value. Auto banking controls the depth of banking on road bends. On layers, you can add or remove decals and objects on single or multiple lanes, or at a specific location. And to see better, I'm going to use this mode, which I'm going to leave the links for in the description for you, to remove the grass and help us see better when we make changes to each layer. There are different types of layers. L-span layers don't have a fixed width, and they go from the first node to the last, and they are useful for multiple lane decal placements. On the other hand, offset has a fixed width and has an offset from a lane, and it's useful for single lane decal placement. Patch is a single decal or patch at a specific location, and it's useful for single or multiple lane. Decal is a decal at the chosen place, has a fixed size, and is useful for single lane decal placement. If you don't know which layer is which, hide them all and show only one of them at a time. This way you will know what the layer is and where it is placed. Here the outer left edge is located at the wrong place, and to select the layer, first you have to rename it. So keep that in mind. If you only click on the layer, it won't get selected. You have to rename it first. Here, by changing the lane index, you can move the layer to the proper position. Let's do the same for the other edge, and this time, instead of adding a negative value to the lane index, we have to add a positive value because it's on the other side. And since we moved the outer edge, we are missing a lane divider line. Let's add a new layer and rename it. Now let's select the first lane divider to see how it is set up and mirror the settings to our new layer. Now let's select our new layer and mirror the settings. Now I have placed the other lane divider on the other side, so let's go to render mode and see how it looks. As you can see, there are some missing decals, but don't worry about it, we will be fixing it in a few minutes. First, let's add some guardrails, middle dividers, and lamps. To do so, create a new layer and rename it to whatever you want. Then, choose the road span mesh and select the object you want to place on the road. After selecting it, press this button to apply it. Now let's show the layer and start aligning the barriers. First we need to rotate it and then reduce the space between them. Since we're going to add lamps too in the middle, we're going to change the offset to move it aside a bit and add another row of concrete barriers to the other side later. Let's create a new layer and rename it for the lamp post in the middle of the road and select the mesh, then show the layer, rotate the layer and choose the spacing between each object. Let's choose the guardrails, fix the spacing between them, move the lane index, add offset, and remember for the side that has a positive lane index, you have to rotate it by 180 degrees, which I forgot to do here. Now I have added the guardrails on the other side, so let's go to render mode and see how it looks. At this part, just check the road and don't worry about the missing decals. And here, we need to remove every bush, every forest item, everything that is obstructing our road. After cleaning the road, we need to use the terrain tools and the terrain painter to paint the road material. You can choose any material that you want, but if you don't have it, you can add it from the other maps. If you want to do that, please first save your map in the render mode, so when you load back in, everything is placed, and also don't forget to save your road architect session in case you needed to load it back. To add more materials, please follow as I do. Go to your Beamng installation folder, then open one of the default maps. Go to the terrain folder and open main materials JSON file. Then press Ctrl F and search for Asphalt. Once you found the ground model material, copy it as I do. Then open up your map, which in this case is American Road for me. Again, go to the trains folder and open up the main materials JSON file. Now paste it as I do, save the file and press yes on the zip file. Once you reloaded your game, you can see now there is a new material called ground model asphalt 1. Let's use that to paint our roads. I'm going to speed up this part to avoid wasting your time. Once you finish painting the road, select each created decal and turn off improved spline to fix the missing decal problem. Using the road decal editor tool, you could easily split the roads that interfere with our road and change their path. The highway is now complete, and as for the junctions and groups, I will cover those in the part 2 to keep this video short and on point. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this tutorial helped you out, and if it did, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop your ideas for the next tutorial in the comments. The idea with the most likes will be turned into a video once we hit 5,000 likes on this video. Also, once the part 2 is uploaded, you can find the links for it in the top right corner and in the description. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy crashing!